Hello and welcome back to the Bird Brief. I'm Stephanie Jenkins Aslett, avian ecologist, but more importantly, I'm your birder friend. And before we get started, I want to quickly touch base about something super important: your hearing. Protecting your hearing is key to being able to listen to birds, whether you live in a busy city, you're around machinery, you enjoy live music, buses go by all the time, you use your blender. It's important to have some ear protection handy. And so I wanted to give you a couple options that I use. I keep a pair of inexpensive earplugs in my purse, in my backpack, in my car. You never know when you need them. And I also keep muffs or, ear protection that are the muff style for mowing the lawn, using my blender, going to a fireworks show. It's just easier to go on and off if you want to talk to people, if you're around a group of people and you want to make conversation, but you don't want to take your earplugs in and out all the time. So go to the drugstore and pick up some inexpensive foam earplugs. Just have them handy. Or you can check below in my show notes. I have Amazon links to a couple options I use. I use industry standard options. If you're around machinery, I use the muffs that they use at the construction site. They work well and they're comfortable. So check them out below. There's a couple of noise reduction ratings, and this is not for noise canceling headphones. That's a whole nother ballgame. This is for stuff that won't break the bank, that you can use and just have handy. Check the links, but also more importantly, do something about it. Make sure you're prepared, because you want to hear your birds today, but you also want to hear them in 5 years from now. And you also want to protect your kids' hearing too. They don't know. They don't have the control. You do. Help them. So now that I'm kind of getting off my soapbox, shall we get started? I think we shall. First, this winter, an unusually large number of northern owl species, such as the boreal owl, the great gray, the snowy owl, have arrived in Minnesota, U.S. and Wisconsin, not just the state of Minnesota, but other states too. But they're attracting birders in droves to hotspots like the North Shore of Lake Superior. The sudden influx of owls is known as an irruption, which happens when far more owls than usual migrate to a particular area. And most of these owls are young birds that had a really strong breeding season up in Canada. There was a lot of them. The breeding season was great. As winter set in, their food, like voles, became scarce in the boreal forest, and even scarcer given the number of owls that are competing for that food. It forces them to move south in search of better hunting grounds. And while this is really exciting for birders, the surge in sightings has raised concerns about human disturbance that could be potentially damaging and cause undue stress on the birds. To protect vulnerable species, the Cornell Lab of Ornithology's eBird app has started obscuring boreal owl locations and classifying them as sensitive species. So eBird, if you don't know, I'm sure most of you do, but it's a global database where birders can record and track and share their own bird sightings while contributing to a massive citizen science project. It also helps researchers track bird populations. Along with that comes a lot of people that are getting, up to the minute sightings on birds that have never seen people before, that are easily stressed. So eBird app started obscuring these locations, classifying them as sensitive species due to the risks posed by what some have termed owl paparazzi. So if you use the app, just know that during this eruption, maybe wait to upload your specific locations of different birds until the season's over. And for now, their presence is a special event, one to appreciate from the distance. Next, recent research sheds light on the fact that many birds of paradise species exhibit bioluminescence, where their plumage absorbs ultraviolet light and re-emits it as visible colors. This phenomenon likely plays a role in their elaborate courtship displays, enhancing visual signals to attract mates, and it's particularly important in the dense rainforests that they inhabit. The study, published in Royal Society Open Science, highlights the complexity of these birds' mating rituals and suggests that bioluminescence might be more widespread in avian species than we previously thought. And just for those of us that aren't super up to date on the state of the nation of birds of paradise, let me tell you, there's 44 recognized species of birds of paradise. And they're primarily found in New Guinea, parts of Indonesia, and northern Australia. And some of us are more familiar with the plant called birds of paradise, in Florida lawns and things like that. No, there's 44 species of birds of paradise. With that, thank you for listening. This is Stephanie Jenkins Aslet. Please tune in 2 weeks for the next rundown, or should I say, feather down of the birds we love.